Phoenix investigators have a mystery on their hands after a human skeleton was found in a North Phoenix desert near the Deer Valley Airport.
And how this person got there or why, that's still unknown at this point tonight. Fox 10's Lauren Clark exclusively spoke with the man who made the discovery. Lauren, what did he have to say?
Hey there, Mark and Christina. Well, I spoke to this man and he said that he's still shaken up having to see what he found that evening. But he also told me that he found an ID next to the remains of an Alabama man who is 60 years old. Now, we tried to talk to investigators, and because the investigators assigned to this case have been following leads all day, they were unable to confirm if this ID was in fact related to the body in some way, shape, or form. However, this investigation certainly is on the minds of Phoenix police because of another discovery they made a few months before. Now, this all happened right next to the Deer Valley Airport on Tuesday evening. This is off of 7th Street and Deer Valley up there in North Phoenix. And Mike Stein says he was riding his electric bike in that desert area when he found these remains, and he said he could tell that these remains had been there for quite some time because they were bleach white. He found the bones, but there was no skull there with the remains. And according to Phoenix police, there was a skull found October 24th near that area as well. Although right now it's unconfirmed if that's of the same person at this time. The Office of the Medical Examiner is going to have to make that match via DNA. And they're currently on the case right now. But this is what Mike had to say about what he found in the desert that evening.
We got to the bone pile. I seen the lower jaw and all the other bones, and I knew that they were human remains.
Yeah, certainly a very chilling discovery. We'll have more about Mike and more about what Phoenix police say they're going to be doing with the next steps in this investigation coming up right here at Fox News Live at 5. Reporting live in Phoenix, Lauren Clark, Fox 10 News.
Lauren, thanks. New video tonight of a suspected drunk driver slamming into a house in the West Valley.
This all started around 2 a.m. when a driver tried to flee police who were trying to pull the vehicle over. Doorbell video from the next door neighbor shows this.
Wow.
That white SUV speeding down the street, crashing there. The driver lost control. It clips some cars and then hits a block wall and slams right into the front left side of a home. Amazingly, no one inside the house was hurt, and even the driver only has minor injuries, but he's now in custody. Neighbors say the street is known for speeding cars, and Fox 10's Brian Webb will have more on that coming up at 5.
One person is sent to the hospital after a driver crashes into the front of a coffee shop. This happened in Tempe. The collision happened this morning at Gold Bar Espresso. It's near Southern and McClintock. Police say the driver of a small truck accidentally hit the glass storefront, causing damage there. As you can see, officers say that 3 people were sitting at a table outside when the crash happened. One of them did suffer a serious cut to their hand and had to be taken to the hospital. A customer says people were pretty shaken up, as you can imagine, but the business did stay open and did not have to close for the day.
How's the coffee?
It's excellent. This is the best. I'm a pretty good regular here. I come here pretty much every day, and the coffee's outstanding, and I hope everybody's okay.
And the business will now work on making repairs to that storefront.
A Fox 10 News alert tonight out of southern Arizona, where the mayor of Marana has died. The town says Ed Honea passed away today at the age of 77. He served on the council 3 different times for a total of 37 years. He also worked for the United States Postal Service for nearly 3 decades. He's survived by his 2 children and 3 grandchildren. Vice Mayor John Post will serve as interim mayor.
Arizona's Office of Tourism Director Lisa Urias resigning effective December 4th.
That news coming just a day after an Arizona Agenda article brought to light a potential conflict of interest connected to Urias.
And Fox 10's Nicole Christine joining us live now with more on this story tonight.
Well, good afternoon, Mark and Christina. These allegations stem from Urias Communications. Now, that is an agency that Lisa Urias founded in 2006, and these state contracts have been loosely tied to that communications agency. You may remember that the Office of Tourism spent $700,000 on a state logo rebranding effort, and the designer who was chosen to create that new logo happens to be the brother of current CEO of Urias Communications. He received over $27,000 for his work and did that work on the design with a separate graphic design company, but that connection still raised eyebrows. After the Arizona Agenda article came out Thursday, State Representative Teresa Martinez called for an investigation into the potential conflict of interest in this contract and a $250,000 non-competitive contract with the Arizona Department of Education's Office of Indian Education. Urias sent in a resignation letter to Governor Hobbs today, calling these claims, quote, categorically false. Governor Hobbs and Representative Martinez both spoke today about the investigation and her resignation.
Anyone who has the privilege of serving the public needs to be above reproach, and that's why I accepted her resignation this morning. This appearance of conflict is not acceptable.
We're just looking for facts. The people expect us to govern. They expect us to do it efficiently and economically. Paying $700,000 for a logo is completely inappropriate. I mean, we could do a contest for free and say, hey, design a logo for the Office of Tourism.
And Representative Martinez says that today she's filing a public records request to both the Office of Tourism and the Office of the Lottery, and she is calling on Attorney General Chris Mays to seriously look into this matter. Reporting live in front of the Arizona State House, Nicole Christine, Fox 10 News.
Thanks, Nicole. President-elect Donald Trump has made a new pick for Attorney General.
Yeah, that abrupt change happened just hours after his first candidate, Matt Gaetz, dropped out. And today, Gaetz says he will not be returning to Congress in January. The Florida congressman announcing he will not be returning to the House despite recently winning re-election. Gaetz resigned from Congress after Trump nominated him to lead the Justice Department. But since then, he's faced increased scrutiny about a House ethics report surrounding claims that he paid to have sex with a minor, among other controversies. Gaetz announced that he was withdrawing from the nomination yesterday. Meanwhile, President-elect Trump has made a new pick for Attorney General. Today, he announced the pick, Pam Bondi, the former Attorney General of Florida and a longtime ally of Trump. She was also one of Trump's lawyers during his first impeachment trial.
Arizona Governor Katie Hobbs, state lawmakers, local leaders, and business executives are all celebrating the passage of Prop 479, the half-cent transportation tax overwhelmingly passed by Maricopa County voters. This will provide funding for freeway projects over the next 20 years, and the funding is expected to generate $15 billion in revenue and create hundreds of thousands of jobs.
This is a win for Maricopa County, as I mentioned, for Arizona, for all who find themselves struggling with congestion or long times on the road. This will be a win for our future, for economic development, for companies that we don't even know that are going to be in the valley, that this decision and passing this will be a key component of whether they would or would not have come to the valley.
The measure extends Prop 300, which was first approved back in 1985 and then renewed in 2004 by Prop 400. Prop 479 will extend the tax until the year 2045.
Some good news for drivers. There are no full valley freeway closures this weekend. ADOT is taking a break to help things go smoothly as some people are getting an early start on their holiday travel. The only project that will be taking place, though, will be on the Loop 101. That'll be narrowed to 3 lanes in the West Valley during the overnight hours.